That's right, folks. NBA YoungBoy just lost his cool as fresh clips capture him throwing hands with his longtime crew right after that wild tour stop where fans got tars and staff members caught strays. Buckle up, cause we're breaking down every explosive moment that's got the entire hip-hop world buzzing. Newark Street mayhem and the aftermath of the mass tour's Chaos Trail.
So check this out, big dog. Hey, this section on here. I understand y'all excited. I'm cool with that throwing on stage. Hey, don't do that to me, please, if you don't mind.
Before diving into the madness, let's rewind a bit to when YB's tour saga hit the headlines. You probably remember how this run had everyone talking, from Kai Cenat tearing up during the show to DJ Academics dubbing YB the face of modern rap.
With all due respect to every other rapper, YoungBoy is the king of rap right now. I'm sorry to tell y'all. The walk down I seen in Atlanta tonight, give him the throne. Just give him the throne. YoungBoy the king of rap. I'm sorry to tell y'all. Hey, listen, I'm not saying it's gonna last forever.
But not everything went smoothly. The Newark Brawl happened on September 29, 2025, just after YB wrapped up his set at the Credential Center. This wasn't some random fight between drunk fans either. It was straight-up street politics unfolding live, and someone made sure the camera caught it all. The clip, already past 1.22 million views, shows YB's full entourage, including his right-hand man, Lol Tim, clashing with a group of Dirk supporters chanting Free Smirkio like it was a campaign rally. The tension had been building inside all night. No lie, fans were heckling Lol Tim's opener, shouting out Dirk in front of 14,000 YB diehards. That's like walking into a pit of wolves wearing a ribeye suit, bro. The atmosphere was razor sharp. By the time the concert wrapped at 10:30 p.m., all that pent-up energy erupted out onto Market Street. Here's where it goes crazy. The viral clip shows it all in sequence. 4 or 5 Dirk fans rolled up on YB's 6 to 8 man crew near some blacked-out Escalades. These dudes start popping off, yelling Free Smirk, YB washed, like they forgot whose city they were in. YB's team clapped back instantly with the classic slat slat, your whoops better vanish energy. Then one of Dirk's supporters gets bold, shoving one of YB's guys and yelling, "Tell Dirk we said what's up." And that's when everything exploded. The fight lasted maybe 20 seconds but felt like chaos in motion. Pure pandemonium. One shirtless Dirk fan swings wild at someone who looks like Lol Tim in a black hoodie, but Tim ducks smooth and snaps back with a clean right hook that sends the dude crashing into a car hood like he got tackled by a linebacker. Then YB's crew rushes in. We're talking 2 or 3 guys stomping and grappling, yelling, "That's for all that smirk talk," while the other dude curls up screaming, "Chill bro, I ain't mean it like that." You can see chains swinging, fists flying, total chaos everywhere. Then, there's this one guy in camo about 10 feet away from the brawl. Fans swear it looks like YB himself from the side. You can see him motioning and mouthing something. Fan edits added captions saying he said, "Handle that slime business." It all comes to an end when police sirens echo down the block. Newark PD rolls up fast, and everyone scatters into cars, speeding off into the night. The aftermath wasn't too bad. No arrests made, though cops listed it as a minor disturbance and boosted security for the rest of the East Coast stops. Injuries were light. A few bruises and one bloody lip caught on later footage. But what's got everyone talking is how wild the optics are. It looked less like a fan fight and more like a statement. One of the Dirk supporters who got worked over ended up posting a shaky selfie to his Instagram story, face puffed up with a black eye. The caption read, "Yops tried it. Free the real," before he deleted it minutes later. That kind of petty energy is exactly what keeps this rivalry alive. No cap. The reaction from the tour team came quick. Live Nation issued a statement saying they regret the post-show altercations outside the arena and are coordinating with local authorities to reinforce safety protocols. By the time YB's caravan pulled into Philly on October 1st, venues were already stepping up security, installing extra metal detectors and posting no rival chant signs at entrances. That's how serious the tension got. But Newark was just one chapter in a much larger saga of chaos that's been trailing this whole tour like a curse. The entire run has been defined by wild outbreaks that make you question if the security crew is earning their checks or just watching the drama unfold. Let's rewind to some of the craziest moments that had social media in meltdown mode. The Austin concert on September 6 kicked things off with a full-on brawl during Lonely Child. Picture this, YB's mid-performance, pouring emotion into the MIC, when suddenly, a group of 5 or 6 fans in the pit start swinging like it's an MMA cage fight. Bodies flipping over barriers, elbows flying, people trying to duck out of the way, total madness. Security rushed in, halting the show for about 90 seconds while they restored order. YB stayed cool through it all, telling the crowd, "Relax, slime. We ain't on that tonight." 3 people got tossed from the venue, but by then, the internet had already turned it into a viral meme, painting the tour as a chaos magnet. Fast forward to Los Angeles on September 11th, and things went up another notch. The Crypto.com arena was packed with 20,000 fans when not one but two separate melees broke out. First, two women in the front row started scrapping over a spilled drink. We're talking full-on hair pulling, purse flinging, and screaming while YB's trying to perform Feel Good. He had to stop mid-set, point at them, and call it out like,
I'm saying, what the wrong with y'all? I ain't happy with y'all. I ain't happy about it. This ain't that type of show. You too pretty for it. What you gonna do with it? Hey, you do it again, you gonna get your face broken, this bitch, boy. Do it one more time. I saw you. Hey, we gonna try it again and say, shawty, man, I ain't gotta fight, man. Hey, don't do it, come on, little boy, tell.
Even though security broke it up fast, that wasn't the end of the LA madness. Later that same night during Outside Today, someone thought it'd be funny to toss a hoodie onto the stage. Now, YB doesn't take disrespect lightly. He stormed to the front edge, pointed straight at the crowd, and shouted,
Hey, you do it again, you get your face broken, this bitch, boy. Do it one more time. I saw you. Hey, we gonna try it again and say, shawty, man, I ain't gotta fight, man. Hey, don't do it, come on, little boy, tell.
The audience went absolutely insane. Phones out, flashes everywhere. Luckily, it stayed verbal and didn't turn physical. Actress Sky Jackson happened to be in the crowd recording the fight between the two women earlier. Later, she posted backstage photos with YB captioned, "Wild night, but vibes." That LA stop pretty much set the tone for the chaos that followed. But the situation that truly stunned everyone and hit national news came out of Kansas City on September 22nd. This one wasn't about fans beefing or tossing stuff at the stage. It was way worse. Clip rolls here. A rower 0.27 timestamp. A 14-year-old named Jaden Reed straight up attacked a 66-year-old usher over a seating mix-up. Let that sink in. A teenager assaulting an older man just doing his job. The footage is hard to watch. You see Reed shove Thomas Schlang down a short flight of stairs, slam him into seats, and hit him with more than 10 punches to the face and body while yelling, "Don't touch me, old head." The victim, Schlang, ended up hospitalized with a concussion, deep bruising, and missed weeks of work. His family launched a GoFundMe that pulled in about $12,000 to cover his medical bills and lost pay. The wild twist. That same night, YB received a city proclamation for his Stop the Violence campaign. You couldn't script irony better. Reed was taken into custody, released to his parents, and officially charged with felony assault on October 1st. The T-Mobile Center banned him for life, and the case sparked a heated debate about concert safety and youth aggression. Then came the Miami stop on October 13th, another headline moment, where a 23-year-old, also named Jaden Reed, no relation, got tasered and arrested at the Casa Center after a scuffle broke out in the crowd. According to the police report, Reed was seen dancing up on a female Miami PD sergeant around 9:45 p.m. When she ordered security to remove him, he resisted two officers trying to escort him out. What happened next was total chaos. All four tumbled 15 rows down the arena stairs in a mess of limbs and shouting. Security tased Reed twice, but it didn't work, and backup had to step in to cuff him. Miami Fire Rescue treated him and 4 officers for minor injuries. Reed was charged with battery on an officer, resisting arrest with violence, and disorderly intoxication before being taken to Jackson Memorial. The show. It went on like nothing happened. Streamer Aiden Ross got so paranoid about the tour chaos that he showed up with 8 personal security guards and 3 undercover cops, and still got denied entry at the gate. That's how intense the fear surrounding this tour has become. The online response to everything has been completely unhinged. The Newark fight footage alone went viral under hashtags like #MasterMayhem and #YBVSDirk, pulling over 2.5 million impressions in just a few hours. YB supporters flooded timelines, calling it slime defense and praising the crew for standing on business. One fan tweeted, "Team handled ops outside Newark. YB built different. No fold." A post that racked up nearly 1,000 likes. TikTok exploded too, remixing the fight clips with Outside Today lyrics and racking up hundreds of thousands of plays. Meanwhile, Dirk's fans weren't sitting quiet either. They pushed #FreeSmirk to 45k impressions, mocking YB's camp with parody edits and meme compilations. It's like the feud has split into 2 battlefields, one on the streets and one on the internet, with every new clip adding more fuel to the rivalry. What's clear now is that the mass tour has evolved far beyond just a string of concerts. It's turned into a traveling war zone where long-standing beefs, street politics, and fan loyalty collide in unpredictable ways. Each city brings a new headline, and venues are scrambling to tighten security to stop things from spiraling. The tour is still set to run through November with stops in major markets, but every promoter is on edge, especially after Chicago got axed. That cancellation became the breaking point. On September 23, 2025, Just 24 hours before YB was supposed to perform for 20,000 fans at the United Center, the venue abruptly pulled the plug. No heads up, no detailed reason, just a bland statement reading, "The United Center has decided to cancel the NBA YoungBoy concert scheduled for Wednesday, September 24th in Chicago." Tickets started at $59.50, fans had travel booked, hotels paid, and in an instant, gone. Ticketmaster processed automatic refunds, but anyone who bought resale through StubHub or other sites was left scrambling. The timing couldn't have looked more suspicious. This would have been YB's first time performing in Chicago since King Von's death in November 2020, and everyone knew emotions in the city were raw. The United Center had already hinted at troubled days earlier when, on September 20th, they quietly announced a new no-bag rule, banning all bags, even clear ones, instead of their usual small-size limit. That alone signaled they were bracing for chaos. But apparently, even that wasn't enough reassurance. YB's manager, Alex Junior, took to Instagram stories, later deleting the post, and went off on the venue, accusing staff of being too scared fans wouldn't have fun. Pretty bold accusation to make in public, but it showed how frustrated the camp was. Booking agent Andrew Lieber doubled down on X, tweeting, "Super disappointed in United Center and City of Chicago. This was their call." According to them, the venue simply lost its nerve, cancelling unilaterally and leaving everyone else to deal with the fallout. But fans and insiders alike believe there's a much deeper reason behind that decision: the Lil Durk feud. This isn't just friendly competition, this is a bloodline feud that traces all the way back to King Von's fatal shooting outside an Atlanta nightclub on November 6, 2020. Von was killed by a member of Quando Rondo's crew, and Rondo happens to be signed under YB's Never Broke Again label. That link, even though YB wasn't physically there, instantly placed him in Durk's crosshairs. Fast forward, Durk was arrested in October 2024, accused of allegedly organizing a murder-for-hire plot against Quando Rondo in retaliation for Von's death. His trial is set for January 2026, and is currently sitting in federal custody. His supporters have turned him into a symbol, fans chanting "Free Smirkio" at YB shows from city to city. In Houston on September 7th, YB even threw a subtle jab mid-performance, saying, "When you stand on business, people don't like it," before teasing a live performance of Durk's own diss track, "I Hate YoungBoy." But Chicago? That's Durk's home turf. His territory. Trying to bring YB there was like striking a match in a gas station. The concerns weren't just rumors either. Insiders claimed O-Block affiliates were openly planning to show up if the concert went on. King Von's sister, Kayla B, even jumped on X celebrating the cancellation, posting, "Anybody risking their life to crash out like that is insane. Be smarter, y'all." That statement from Von's family basically backed the venue's call. They understood how dangerous things could have turned out. Online, people were saying 30 to 40 Durk associates bombarded the United Center with phone threats, spamming calls until management supposedly caved and cancelled. Whether that's fact or just social media storytelling, it proves one thing: folks believed the danger was real. There were even whispers that YB's team had reached out to Southside Chicago GDs for extra security, which, if true, would have created a whole new problem, with Chicago PD likely forced to step in before it turned into an all-out turf clash. Still, not everyone thinks the Durk beef was the only reason the show got cut. Some point to the broader pattern of violence that's been shadowing the mass tour. YB's own mother even weighed in, saying, "If it was for safety, maybe it was best they cancelled it. But we put a lot of money into this." She seemed to recognize the danger after the Kansas City and Newark chaos, but also felt the sting of the financial loss. That strict no-bag rule the venue enforced pretty much backs up that safety-first theory. The venue was clearly trying to stop any potential weapons or dangerous items from getting through, but in the end, even that didn't feel like enough. Another rumor started circulating online, a supposed dispute over YB's set list. Unconfirmed Live Nation insiders claimed the United Center wanted him to cut "I Hate YoungBoy" from his performance, worried it might trigger crowd violence. Allegedly, YB refused, saying it's one of his biggest records and he wasn't about to let anyone dictate his art. If that's true, it paints a picture of just how tense things were behind the scenes, and how far the venue was willing to go to prevent chaos. On the flip side, YB's camp accused them of overstepping, of profiling him and his fans instead of dealing with the actual risk factors. Junior's comments about the staff being scared show he thought it was bias disguised as safety concern. It's a familiar pattern in hip-hop, venues labeling certain artists as high risk because of reputation or lyrics, and sometimes those fears are exaggerated, or worse, discriminatory. The gang affiliation rumors made it even messier. Beyond the O-Block chatter, reports claimed there were fears that YB was trying to align with GD factions for protection, which would have put Chicago police in an impossible position. No department can afford to appear complicit in gang coordination, even indirectly. So, if they got wind of that kind of talk, they likely pressured the United Center to shut things down preemptively. Ironically, the cancellation ended up boosting YB's Mac album streams by 8% that week. In hip-hop, controversy sells. and this situation gave him more free publicity than any marketing campaign could have bought. The twist is, the attempt to reduce violence ended up intensifying the spotlight and fan loyalty on both sides. And Chicago wasn't the only stop to fall through. A week later, on October 6th, YB's Detroit concert at Little Caesars Arena was scrapped too. That made 2 major Midwest shows cancelled within days, suggesting more than coincidence. It looked like multiple arenas were reacting to the same wave of security intel. Detroit never issued a detailed explanation, but the timing made it clear they were following Chicago's lead, erring on the side of caution. YB himself hasn't addressed the Chicago cancellation publicly, likely a smart legal move given Dirk's ongoing federal case. But the entire ordeal opened up bigger questions that the culture keeps circling back to. Should artists be punished for the actions of their fans? Should venues shut down events based on potential danger rather than confirmed threats? And how much responsibility should rappers bear for the street energy tied to their name? There aren't simple answers, but the Chicago callout is already being dissected as a major example of how modern rap beef collides with business, safety, and image management in real time. The DNA of a hip-hop war, YoungBoy versus Dirk, from the beginning to now. This isn't your average internet feud that fades after a few disses. It's a deep-rooted conflict built on loyalty, pride, and real-world consequences, shaping careers, alliances, and the very sound of street rap. The tension stretches further back than most fans realize. Long before 2020, there was already quiet friction between YB's Baton Rouge scene and Dirk's Chicago drill movement, 2 rising empires representing different codes of the streets. Both men were young, hungry, and viewed as authentic voices of their cities. By 2019, when YB began collaborating heavily with Quando Rondo, who was officially under his Never Broke Again imprint, sparks started to fly. Small confrontations popped up, online comments, fan arguments, awkward encounters at events, nothing too major at first. But those small moments planted the seeds for one of the most infamous rivalries hip-hop seen in decades. The moment that turned what was just rivalry into an all-out street war came on November 6, 2020, when King Von was fatally shot outside Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. Von, Dirk's close friend and label mate, ended up clashing with Quando Rondo's cousin, reportedly Timothy Leaks. What began as a fight spiraled into gunfire, leaving Von dead at the scene. Leaks was later charged with murder but walked free in 2022 after claiming self-defense. What made it hit harder was that Von had already taken lyrical shots at YoungBoy years earlier. His 2018 track Crazy Story included bars accusing YB of pretending to be something he wasn't. So when Von was killed by someone tied to Rondo, one of YB's people, Dirk's camp instantly connected the dots. Even though YB wasn't present, he mourned Von online, while Rondo's tone-deaf celebration posts made everything spiral past the point of return. From that night forward, Dirk swore to keep Von's name alive, which, in his world, meant retaliation through music. By 2021, the tension had exploded onto tracks. YB dropped Turbulent off his From the Bayou mixtape, openly referencing Von's death with lines Dirk's crew saw as disrespect. Von ain't move quick enough. Oblock wrapped up. That wasn't coded, it was direct. Dirk answered a few months later with Backdoor, a record about loyalty and betrayal that threw shade right back. Then, in January 2022, YB went nuclear with I Hate YoungBoy. Nearly 7 minutes of unfiltered disses aimed not only at Dirk but at Gucci Mane, Von, and others. Lines like Dirk dead, that boy won't miss me turned it from rivalry into pure hostility. Dirk clapped back within hours with a ha-ha, mocking YB's legal troubles and bragging about staying one step ahead. By then, the feud had outgrown rap. It was influencing deals, features, and reputation. 21 Savage even said in 2021 that YB was being blackballed because of the Dirk situation, with major artists refusing to choose sides. YB followed up with Bring the Hook in 2022, while Dirk doubled down on songs like Want It, Need It. Fans ate it up. Both I Hate YoungBoy and Ahaha shot into the Billboard Top 10, proof that controversy sells. But industry veterans started calling it toxic. Even 50 Cent weighed in during 2024, calling the feud played out and pointing out how unfair it was that Dirk could drop disses while YB was behind bars. Social media caught fire. Hashtags pitting the two sides against each other racked up millions of impressions. Memes, edits, debates, it all became part of the show. Outlets like Complex argued this was no longer entertainment but a cycle fueling real-world violence. Then came the legal layer. By August 2022, reports surfaced that federal agents were probing a murder-for-hire plot allegedly involving Dirk and targeting Quando Rondo as retaliation for Von's death. Dirk wouldn't be officially charged until October 2024, but the rumors alone were enough to raise pressure. Around the same time, YB got 23 months on gun charges, and the feud followed him to prison. In March 2025, he allegedly fought an inmate linked to Dirk's circle after being taunted, and according to Terrence Gangster Williams, Birdman's brother, YB stood on business even inside. That's how deep the animosity runs. At this point, the line between music and reality blurred completely. Several attempts to bury the hatchet came and went. In May 2023, DJ Academics claimed on Twitch the beef was dead, Dirk even liked the post, and YB's fan pages echoed it. Socials went wild, thinking peace had finally arrived. But months later, another online jab reignited it. Dirk calling YB out over a fake address, YB joking that his probation officer had to approve moves. Another truce attempt surfaced in May 2024 after Jilly the Kid begged for unity at Jillafest. YB called the whole feud just entertainment, even admitting they sometimes talked on the phone about music. Imagine that, two rivals beefing publicly while chatting privately like colleagues. Still, the peace never lasted, not with fans and street politics feeding the flames. By mid-2025, the conflict had resurfaced during YB's mass tour, with chants, brawls, and the infamous Chicago cancellation reminding everyone that Von's death still casts a long shadow. Von's sister, Kayla B., made it clear this wasn't something her family could laugh off or forgive. On September 7th in Houston, YB reignited tensions again, telling the crowd, "When you stand on business, they don't like that," and teasing "I hate YoungBoy live." Meanwhile, Dirk, awaiting trial on federal murder-for-hire charges tied to the same saga, has stayed quiet, likely under legal advice. The chain connects perfectly: Von, Rondo, YB, Dirk. Yet, alliances keep shifting. Recently, Lil Baby liking YB's post sparked headlines since his cool with both camps. Fans took it as either a sign of neutrality or a possible realignment. The community split. Some treat the drama like sport, posting YB versus Dirk vibes, while others are tired, calling it played out. Still, the feud has defined both men's careers, shaping their catalogs, tours, and even freedom. With Dirk facing serious time and YB still under scrutiny, this conflict feels far from over. The roots are deep, the pride unshakable, and every new incident only reignites the tension. As long as both are active, this rivalry will hover over hip-hop, occasionally erupting through lyrics, fan fights, or headlines. The question isn't whether it'll end, it's how much more collateral damage it'll cause before it finally burns itself out. Yo, fam, that's the wrap-up for this story. Appreciate you for locking in. Hit that card on screen to dive into more breakdowns just like this one.